Now that is a lot of FCX24 stuff. What's up, guys? Matt here coming at you with another quick video. Just kind of wanted to do a little overview of some things that I've picked up for the FCX24. Basically, when stuff is posted up, I've been buying it, whether it's Aliexpress or Treal, whatever. I've just been grabbing it, honestly. And I'm not going to do a video on every single little thing. I mean, you know, an aluminum diff cover is not for performance really, but I thought I would show off kind of the look of it. Of course, it's Treal, so this is all really good stuff. Now, I did do a video on the brass covers because those add the weight, and I kind of wanted to show how they affect performance. So there's a video on that if you want to check it out. But the rest of the stuff, I just kind of thought I would show some of the things they've put out here. Now, I didn't buy the links that they released because they are straight links, and I don't want those. And it seems like there was something else I didn't pick up, but you can see this stuff here is beautiful Treal, like always. So this is your inner steering knuckle. So I did have one of these that like basically all of the screw holes stripped out when I was putting these on. I put a longer screw in it and it caught and it held fine, but these on the inside will be nice for durability. You know, the bad thing is you break, if this doesn't break, then it's just going to be like the actual C-hub or your axle. So, but really I just did it for looks somewhat, and the fact that those screw holes shouldn't strip out in this as easy as they did the plastic. So really nice part there from Treal. Now all of this stuff they have in black, they have in blue. I think they do red, which I'm not a big fan of red, so I didn't get any red. And then I grabbed one set of these steering links in this bronze color because I hadn't seen their bronze yet, and I wanted to see what it looked like. So there is that. Steering knuckles, of course, it comes with your screws and everything. So that will be on the inner part of your, right here. That'll be this part. So you'll have to take this whole knuckle off and you'll put that in there, and then you can run one of these covers if you want, or if you need some weight, you may want to go with these weights. But these look really good. You can see that through the package pretty well. The blue, really like that blue. Of course, I got some black steering links. Really glad that we have some decent steering links now. And like I said, these are available in blue, black. Let's look at this bronze, just so you guys can kind of see it on camera here, because I really haven't seen their bronze stuff. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. I do like that. So that's another color we can add to the list of stuff. That's really neat. It almost has this like greenish look in here, but it's definitely like a bronze, and it has that aluminum edge cut on it. It looks really good. These are all this stuff's pretty much aluminum. One of the most important things I think that they released are these right here, and these are the wheel hex extenders. So they are wheel spacers, they call them. It doesn't really tell the difference. Sure, it probably does online if they're like a +2 or something to the stock hex. I'll go ahead and give you guys a glimpse of this. So you can see here, been working on this thing, but I've been drilling out these here from Amazon. You can see I drilled that out to fit and sit on the pin, but now we have some that are made for it. So that's gonna fit on there really nice, great fit. Put the pin in there, nice. So really glad to see those. So besides those things, we did get the aluminum servo mount. The stock servo mount is not bad at all, honestly. It's a little flexible, so I just grabbed a couple to check them out. I'll get those installed on something. I'm always building these things, so I just got a bunch of stuff. And I did pick up these drive shafts, but these are stock length, I do believe. So if you are stretching your wheelbase very much, you'll have to get the measurement on those and make sure they're gonna work. But it's nice to have. Everybody's been talking about wanting some drive shafts that fit a little tighter. So let's check these out real quick and see how they fit, just so everybody kind of knows. And then I'm going to talk about a couple other options of things that I've picked up also. All right, so here you can see we've got the Treal FCX24 drive shaft, and they didn't make it the D shape like we have here. I wanted to put the screw in here just to be sure and see if this thing still has play. So when you tighten that screw down, it's pretty good actually. I'm a little surprised that fits as tight as it does, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna look at a couple others here, see how they do. All right, so here we have an Endura drive shaft. I've been using these for most of my custom builds, and we'll have to just grab a screw for it. You can see it's basically the same shape and everything as the Treal version, but let's see once we put this screw in if it tightens up as much as the Treal did. Okay, so you can see that play. Big difference there. The Treal is not that loose. So even though it looks the same, it does fit the shaft better. That's really good. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but I can actually see the shaft inside of there moving around on this versus this one on the Treal, so it must be just a tiny bit smaller, a little bit better fit. I think the difference is the way this screw goes down in it. It's hard to tell. Yeah, so on the Endura, you're probably not going to see this on the camera. There's a little lip inside of here, right there on the top side, that stops the screw head. And there's really not on the Treal, so I guess it goes down through and the screw head sticks up just enough to catch. I don't know. It's pretty wild. But it just fits a little bit better. These are some I got off of Aliexpress. So let's see how they fit up. So I don't know if you can see down in there the way this is moving around on the shaft itself, but the Treal is definitely a better fit. So just putting it on there, it seems like it's just as loose, but when you get the screw in here, it really tightens it up. And the screw actually goes down in farther and like catches on the shaft. So that's the difference. And the shaft is moving with this drive shaft. It's not the drive shaft itself, the yoke or whatever, is not moving on the shaft of the gear there. That's the whole gear and everything moving. So that's awesome. Those are a much better fit. So check your lengths. If you can make these work, probably the way to go. The problem is if we go extending them very far, then they're not gonna work. So other than that, I also picked up these shocks off of Aliexpress. These, I wasn't super impressed with them. They're not any longer. They're basically like a aluminum stock replacement, but they do have oil in them, and I was surprised that there was a little bit of oil in there out of the package, and they must not leak apparently because the package didn't have a bunch of oil all over it. So I assumed they would probably leak, but being that they were in the package and shipped to me in the package, you know how it is, you get stuff like that. Normally if it's cheap and it's leaking, like, it's gonna be oil in the package, and these did not have any oil on the package. So good night, that sucker's tight. I do want to change out the springs. These springs on here are very stiff, and we will need more oil. They just basically have a little bit in there. So these shocks did come with a black spring that's a little softer. I wanted to show that real quick. But one of the problems is it don't clip onto the stock ball end. You can see there, it just goes right over it. So you're still gonna have to use these ball studs, and it doesn't come with like a double. So you're gonna be stuck with your stock link. I don't really know what you're supposed to do with it. You see how this is mounted up? Have your link inside, and this goes onto that ball stud. So that's not gonna work now. You're gonna have to do something different. So I feel like these are just another part that's been labeled Fcx24 just to get sales. I really wouldn't recommend these for it, honestly. I mean, if you're gonna make these work, you can make any shock you want work, so why bother? I mean, they are super cheap. They only took like 7 months to get here. Now I got these weights right here. I'm gonna talk about these things. These are like some 10 scale weights, man. These are honestly probably way too heavy for anything I want them for. So these, you will take off the outer portal cover there and slap this on, and it looks to be like it'll be a pretty good fit. It's an interesting kind of concept because it replaces that outer portal cover. And then, geez, I don't know how wheels are gonna fit with these. I feel like it's gonna be a major issue. Now, maybe not once we take this cover off and slap these on, but if you want like insane mad weight, these things are what you're gonna want. Honestly, they're so heavy, I don't even think I'll be using them. But 40 grams in one, that is nuts. I mean, it's a lot of weight. So I don't know, something to play with. So one more thing that came in today from AliExpress. These are pretty dang cheap steering links for the FCX. You can see they got multiple colors, and they seem pretty good. These don't have the rubber O-ring on them, so they actually seem like they move pretty good. So I think these will be pretty solid links. So I now have steering links everywhere for these trucks. And then they also had these hex. I just grabbed a set of them to check them out, and you can see they are drilled out big enough to fit over the axle. They look a little thin, so we may have an issue with your wheels or even the wheel nuts because of how thin that hex is. So Honestly, I'm loving these Treals. I definitely prefer these. Really good fit. So I'm putting those on the 2FM build. We're getting that thing together. Just wanted to throw these in the mix as well. Now a couple more things I got. Just the regular old brass looking, and this is all from Aliexpress. The shocks, the heavyweights, we'll call them, and this stuff here. So this is just another portal cover, inner and outer, that is brass. They have this is for the rear basically, and then we have the front steering knuckle, just like our Treal aluminum one, but this one's brass. So if you want the weight, you can add that weight as well. These, I'll have to fit them all up and see how they fit, but kind of just showing off. Just this outer cover, 5 grams. That steering knuckle, 10 grams, so you 15 there. And then one cool thing I do like that is available, as long as everything fits up nice, and like I said, I'll have to get some time with this, is they have these, like the C-hub, and these are aluminum or brass. I think it's brass, but I got it in black. I think most of this stuff is available in black as well. When I ordered it, all they listed was the brass, and that's just what I ended up with. I absolutely hate the bare brass color, so probably gonna have to do something to those. But these, I like having this option because that's 5 grams, and the Treal ones that we were looking at earlier, they don't have this piece, so that leaves it still plastic, this in here. So that's pretty interesting. You know, I haven't had any problems with those stripping or any issues with those, but that is pretty cool. And it looks like, to me, let me find another front axle, because it looks like we have some adjustment to where we can clock that a little bit now. See how some of these don't have this, apparently, this notch, and you can roll them. This don't even look like it's gonna fit. So I don't know if these are designed around the other axles that don't have this notch, because it won't fit on there. So if your axle has that notch, some people apparently they don't have this. And I mean, you could cut it off, but then your screw's not really doing a whole lot through there. I don't know, that's kind of sucks. This will not go on there. Where's the other side? Yeah. So apparently these are made to fit the ones that don't have this notch. Like I said, we can cut that off because the rest of this is gonna hold it. But I don't know, I'm not real big on cutting that, honestly. And even if we did, we could go from here. You would have to go all the way around from there to there. You'd have to really, so like, you're not gonna be able to clock that at all. It's gonna be way too much, in my opinion, if you do that. I don't know, I guess you could get away with sort of that angle. Leave your servo tilted forward a little bit. Yeah, that's not really gonna work. So these are neat, but unless you want to cut this notch off, they're not really gonna work on this setup. But they would be great for the other ones that don't have the notch, like I said. Other than that, I think that's about all I got in right now. I think I had a few more things ordered. I kind of lost track, but yeah, so a lot of stuff to check out. I just kind of wanted to show it all to you guys because it's a lot, and I'm not going to do a video on, you know, each little thing, so everybody can kind of just check out the goodies all at once, hopefully. And sorry there's not a lot of install or running or anything like that, but sometimes info on how things look, fit, and weigh and work are pretty good as well. These, let's weigh some of this aluminum stuff from Treal here. Like, I'm sure they give a weight for these, so that's 2 grams, you know, 3 grams, whatever. So like, you know, it's aluminum. We're not really buying this to add weight, so I wasn't too worried about weighing any of that stuff. But if you guys want to know a weight on any of this Treal stuff, let me know. I can get you a weight. I'm sure it tells in their specs. And aluminum parts, you're not really buying them to add weight anyway. So you guys let me know what you think of this stuff. I just kind of wanted to show a little bit of it. Like I said, there's a lot there, and thought I would go over it. I appreciate everybody watching. Gonna get to work on this build, try to get this 2FM chassis finished up, get some electronics installed, and hopefully be running that thing soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Peace.